No, I say we actually switch on over to week
Yes.
9
Yes.
now, actually. Wow. It's like we're already on the, over the halfway point in the NFL season. It's crazy. I remember when I went to my first Carolina Panthers game to start the season, it felt like just a couple weeks ago. Ev, I'll kick it over to you here. Let us know how we did this week. Obviously, our picks weren't great, so I'm not expecting our weekly standings to be great, but let us know how we did.
Yeah, it wasn't good. I went 6-9, awful, and then
Oof.
you guys were 7-8, not much better. Marty actually went 9-6. One of our two guests last week, he did pretty well, so he won the week. But brutal week all around. Season standings, Zach, you are still in first at 69%. Cy is at 64. I'm at 61. So you've got a decent little lead there. And then what did we? Oh yeah, we went 0 for 3 on our parlay. Not ideal. But the downside hedge hit. There you go.
Wasn't it the first week we actually enacted the hedge too?
Last
Yeah,
week.
it was.
This is our first week we did it, so
Good timing, guys. Good timing.
Good job. All right.
Cool. I'll go ahead and are you planning on sharing your screen?
Oh yeah, I can share. I'll share.
Yeah, okay,
You
cool.
can drive though. You can drive.
Okay, cool. All right, sweet. Starting us off, I can actually start this one off because we'll allow Cy to go last on this one. Thursday night game, Jets at Colts, playing in Lucas Oil. Indianapolis carries a 10.5 spread. I've got Indianapolis winning and covering. Now, I was really hoping that spread would be a little bit slimmer just because New York won in such an outrageous fashion last week, but I still think Indianapolis covers comfortably here. Ev?
Yeah, I think they win. Not keen on the cover necessarily, but whatever.
My favorite thing about this, Zach, is it's very likely you and I could be watching this game together this week. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to go, obviously, Ev's got it right with the Jeff. Now I'm going to go Indy winning, but I don't, 10.5 is a big cover. And I'm not saying that we're not capable of that, but it just seems like a really weird spread. Like it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I'm going to pick Indy, but I'm not going to go cover just to be safe here.
Yeah, it's not my favorite either. But one that is my favorite is actually this next game here, Atlanta at New Orleans. Now, despite the fact that I'm wearing my ATL, repping my ATL gear, we are an awful 3-4 team. We have to be one of the worst 3-4 teams I have ever seen on planet Earth. I have New Orleans winning and covering, even with the new QB situation, especially in the Superdome. So I'm going to go New Orleans here, and I think they cover by 6.
Yeah, I appreciate, Zach, your motivation for that. I'm actually going to say Atlanta covers, New Orleans wins, but Atlanta covers. I mean, I don't know if Taysom Hill or Trevor Siemian's going to be playing quarterback. Although you guys are down Calvin really now. All the best to Calvin, and hopefully, gets over some of the mental health issues he's dealing with. But yeah, Cy.
So I'm gonna pick New Orleans winning as well, but I don't feel comfortable saying that they'll cover. I think Atlanta could very well be in that situation. I love the point you just made, though, Zach, because the Colts and the Falcons have the same amount of wins. Like that is absurd. That is absurd to me. But anyway.
A tale of two tales here, or a tale of two teams. Switching over to this next game here, we've got Buffalo at Jacksonville. Buffalo carries a 14.5 spread. Kicking it over to you for this one.
Yeah, I'm going to say Buffalo wins and covers.
Cy?
Win and cover.
I've got Buffalo winning and covering as well. And that's still in Jacksonville, so that's saying a lot. We'll take a look at that one more in detail at the end. Going back up north here, AFC North matchup, Cleveland at Cincinnati. 1 p.m. game. Cincinnati holds a 2.5 spread. Cy, let us know what you think here.
This is arguably my favorite spread of the week for me. I have Cincinnati winning and covering. And the only reason I think it's this close is because of the fact they just lost the Jets.
I think this is a really difficult one, but I do think Vegas is leaning a little bit more towards performance over the last 2 years in this one and giving maybe a touch too much to Cleveland. So I'm going to say Cincinnati wins and covers as well.
So right now the spread is saying that both of these teams are relatively even on a neutral site. I don't disagree with that because Cleveland, I mean, Baker's going to be playing. What's the running back situation in Cleveland?
Chubb is healthy.
Chubb is healthy.
Yeah. Odell didn't get traded. Not that it matters.
I'm still going to lean Cincinnati. I think they win by a field goal, but that's a tough one. We can talk about that one afterwards. Switching over to this next game here, Denver at Dallas. Dallas holds a 10-point spread. I can go ahead and knock this one out. Dak's back, most likely, but he's playing against a remarkably talented secondary. I think Dallas wins, but I don't think they cover that 10 points spread. But Ev, kicking it over to you.
Yeah, I think saying they were a remarkably talented secondary is a bit overrating them, other than Patrick Surtain, and now Von Miller's gone. So I'm gonna say Dallas wins and covers.
I definitely think Dallas wins, and if I'm going on a win, but I don't know how healthy Dak's going to be, which makes it really hard for me to like for sure say that they're going to cover a 10-point spread. I mean, that's a whole 2 possession spread that they have to overcome, and so I got to know if Dak's healthy for sure before I feel comfortable saying Dallas will definitely cover. But I got them winning.
This next game here, Houston at Miami. I actually kind of like this game. Miami played the Buffalo Bills relatively tough. They made it frustrating. They got deep in the trenches, and they made it a close game for the majority of the entire night. So I'm going to go Miami wins and covers here. I actually think with Tua back, obviously he has his struggles, but I think the team can move the football. I think they're talented offensively, and I think their defense has stepped up, especially Xavier Howard. So I've got Miami winning and covering here.
I'll take Miami winning and covering.
I'm not that confident about the cover. I think Tyrod Taylor is playing this week, if I'm not mistaken, which maybe gives them a little more stability on offense, but I'll say Miami wins. And the funny thing, Zach, is everything you said was true, and the Bills still beat them by 15.
Well, don't forget, also Mark Ingram's back on the Saints too. So
Yeah, but they have like 8 old running backs that are all the same. So
all right. Well, I didn't know about the Ingram situation. I got to study up on the trade deadlines over this last week. Las Vegas playing at New York Giants. Boy, has Las Vegas been experiencing a plethora of issues here and PR nightmares. But ultimately right now they still hold a 3-point cover in the Meadowlands. Si, I'll kick this one over to you. What do you got?
I'll take Vegas winning and covering.
I've got Giants money line here. I think another awful story with this Ruggs situation, just terrible decision making. Really sad story. I think the Giants are playing a lot better. Almost beat the Chiefs. I think they get a win at home.
Yeah, I think this is a good money line opportunity. I just think Las Vegas's defense is not up to par. They lost another talented receiver. Their offensive playmakers are kind of battered and bruised up a little bit. I think this is a great opportunity for New York to kind of change the course of their season in a wide open division. So
Ev, you flipped me in Zach's pick. And I will also say that I don't want to say I reserve the right to do this, but if Darren Waller's not playing, then I'll take the money line for the Giants. But if Waller's playing, then I'm taking the Raiders.
Why wouldn't he play? Is he injured?
He was injured and didn't play. Like he wouldn't have played last week, but they had the bye week. So as of right now, it's not a guarantee he plays.
I guess Jacobs is still up in the air too.
Yeah.
Cool. This next game here, one of the final 1 p.m.ers, Minnesota playing at Baltimore. This is personally one of my favorite. So I can go ahead and start this one off. Baltimore carries a 5.5 spread at home. I think Baltimore wins and they covers here. I love the secondary. I love Marlon Humphrey playing press coverage on Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. I think Baltimore is just going to be able to run the football down their throats coming off a bye week. I've got Baltimore winning and covering here. So I can kick it over to you.
I have Baltimore winning. I don't know how comfortable I am with the cover because it just feels like one of these games where like Minnesota had a bad game last week against the backup quarterback, and it feels like one where they could like bounce back and really show up the next one. That just seems to be what Minnesota does. Like they seem to be the spread. The people that just seem to mess up the spreads every week. So I'm gonna go with Minnesota covering, but Baltimore winning.
I'm gonna agree with. I actually think maybe Baltimore covers, but I don't think I'm not that confident. Just because agree with Cy. Like Minnesota has to play well here after losing at home to a backup quarterback. So, but I do like Baltimore. So.
Switching it over to the final 1 p.m. game in my city of Charlotte, New England coming down and playing Carolina. Carolina escapes with a win, but they just are not looking good. Darnold was benched, just a couple games prior. That being said, New England carries a 4-point spread away. Ev, we'll start this one over with you here. This is kind of a tricky spread here.
See, Zach, but you are the czar of picking Panthers games. You always seem to get the Panthers games right, even though they're really hard to bet, even when they pull upsets and all this kind of jazz. So I'm kind of going to wait until you see what you pick. I think that's quite a few points on the road for New England, but they probably cover it.
So I've got Carolina money line here, actually. I think it's a perfect
I might need to switch.
Systematic matchup. And I think Carolina, their season's not over. They stopped their losing streak. They're obtaining more confidence. Now they get this game at home. I think that's two very similar styles that play a little bit more slow and methodical. I think Carolina comes out on top, and especially with these odds, I've got Carolina money line here.
The part that's tough for me is McCaffrey back, because they said they expect him to practice on Wednesday. If McCaffrey's back, then I feel a lot more comfortable going Carolina money line, because I do agree that if McCaffrey's back, that they, obviously the offense opens up a lot more, and I have a lot more faith in them. And their defense is really good. And they added Stephon Gilmore. I don't understand why they've been struggling as much as they've been struggling. But as of right now, I can't pick Carolina because there's too many question marks for me. And the Patriots had a great game against the Chargers, and I just trust Belichick, man. I do. And Jacoby Myers has been playing great, and Mac Jones seems to be getting more confidence every week, and they're running the ball well. I'm gonna go Patriots, and that just seems more straightforward. I don't know about covering, and this could be a field goal game, but I'm going Patriots.
Okay. Moving on to the 4:05 game here, we got the Los Angeles Chargers playing in Lincoln Financial on a cold Philly evening here. LAC carries a 1.5 spread. Ev, I know what you're going to select here, so I'll go ahead and start with you.
Dude, Vegas loves the Eagles.
They do.
Do you remember that Raiders spread from a couple weeks ago? It makes no sense. And again, Chargers going across the country, but it's a 4:00 game. That makes a difference. So their body clock is playing at 1:00. Favorite bet on the card for me.
Si?
Favorite bet on the card for me as well, Chargers. But I will say,
LAC don't lose his money this week like you did last week.
They have lost us a lot of money this year.
I will say the Eagles.
This is a good spread because Philly just came off of a great game, but they were playing against Detroit. So, anyone can look good against Detroit. I think this is a great way, potential arbitrage here. Si, we'll start this one over with you here. Green Bay playing at Kansas City. You love both of these teams.
Can I go last?
Even spread.
Can I go last, since you guys know I love both these teams?
Okay, yeah, sure. F, start us off.
I do love this one for Cy, because these are the two teams that I always joke with Cy, which it's not a bad strategy to always pick and bet on the good teams, but these are the two teams he specifically always hammers. So I'm fascinated to see it. Second favorite bet on the card, Green Bay. Kansas City, again, I'll say it again, they suck.
I've got Kansas City money, I've got Green Bay money line. I guess Green Bay.
It's even. So yeah, it's basically a money line either way.
I want to do it. No, I'll go Green Bay. Honestly, I will not be surprised if Kansas City wins this game, even after everything that I've said. I feel like this will be a statement win for the Chiefs, but I'll go Green Bay.
Assuming Devontae plays, obviously, I don't see any reason why he won't. But
yeah, I mean, Kansas City really could torch that defense, but Arizona didn't. So
they couldn't torch the Giants defense at home.
Yeah, that's fair.
Pat still isn't playing well. He did not play well at all.
Bradbury's a pretty good corner. He's like a top 10 corner, fringe top 10 maybe.
Who is Bradbury?
James Bradbury. He's a good corner for the New York Giants.
Oh, the Giants. Yeah.
All right. So anyways, moving on here. We got Arizona playing at San Francisco. Also an even spread. Cy, since you didn't go first last time, I'll kick this one over to you.
Oh my gosh. This seems too easy to pick Arizona, but why do I feel like San Francisco is gonna figure it out? I don't know if Kyler is gonna be healthy or not. This is like a really hard. Normally this would seem a lot easier, but if Kyler's not healthy, then I would definitely pick San Francisco because DeAndre Hopkins was hurt last week too. So I don't. This is a tough one. And Debo might be hurt, but we don't know if George Kittle's back. This is the most. And
yeah, it could be a trap.
And Elijah Mitchell might not play. This is the most confusing spread ever. We might have to circle back to this one later, guys. But for now, I'll pick Arizona expecting Collar to play, but I don't know, guys. Like this is like a really confusing one.
Same here.
Yeah, it could be a trap, but I also feel like most of the guys in the Murray, Hopkins, really important guys are leaning towards playing. But San Francisco is starting to look better. Jimmy G actually played well, but it could be a trap. I agree with you.
Next game here. Geez, this is going to be a solid Sunday night game. Tennessee playing at the Los Angeles Rams. Rams carrying 8-point spread. Ev, what do you got?
I think that number is too high without Derrick Henry, though. I think Tennessee comes out and plays well. They don't win, but I'm going to say Tennessee covers.
Kuna?
Yep.
I got the Rams winning and covering.
Yeah, Ev, I don't know where you got to get your head out of the gutter, man. I got the Rams winning and covering. This is just a perfect opportunity to capitalize. And I think Ryan Tannehill really struggles against that secondary, knowing that the play action is in complete mishap. So
they're still going to be able to run the ball.
Ev,
Make no mistake about it.
No Derrick Henry. We don't even know if Peterson will play this week. And if he does, it's going to be his first game of the season with no practice. Mm-hmm. And Julio Jones most likely is not playing. Like that's like their whole offense is depleted. And then we know what the Rams offense can do. And the Tennessee defense isn't they're okay, but they're not anything to write home about. And that secondary is getting destroyed. That seems a good position for the Rams to be in Los Angeles too.
I think Tennessee is actually a pretty complete team. And if there's one guy that can just suit up without any practice and put on a decent performance, it's AP. So I actually like Tennessee to cover that 8.
Ev, your like size, Green Bay and Kansas City bias is replicable to your Tennessee bias. I'm just saying, because this is like arbitrage to me. But hey,
Tennessee before Derrick Henry getting hurt though looked like one of the best teams in the NFL.
No, I'm not disputing that, but
yes, I agree. Derrick Henry makes a huge difference. But what do you guys think that the line here is with Derrick Henry? 5, 4.5?
No,
I think it's like a solid. I would say a 4.5 spread.
I think it's a 3 spread because
in LA it's probably a little more, but yeah, I think it's pretty.
I think it's going to be. I would think it'd be around 3. I think they'd almost give them even because of the fact that Tennessee has beaten the best teams that they played. Right. I think with Henry that this would be like a 3 spread, but even then, I think Derrick Henry is definitely at least a 5-point difference because he's a focal point of that offense.
5 points is insane on one player, though.
Yeah, but it's Derrick Henry. He's literally.
He's a tank. He's a tank.
He's your favorite player, bro.
Like, I love Derrick Henry.
Dude, more than Derrick Henry.
Shout out, my boy Marty just bought a Derrick Henry jersey because we're going to Nashville for New Year's and going to because our buddy's a Dolphins fan, so we're going to the Titans-Dolphins game, and he literally buys the Derrick Henry jersey and then gets hurt like 2 days later. And I was gonna do the same because I was like, I should get a Derrick Henry jersey. It's my boy, but now it has less impact. But let's close this out on the Monday Night Football game, Zach.
Sounds good. We got Chicago playing at Pittsburgh, Heinz Field. Monday night. It's going to be cold, gents. Pittsburgh carries a 6.5 spread. I'll go ahead and kick this one over. I think this would be a really, really good bet for Chicago covering, but not money line. I've got Chicago covering 6.5, but I'm not even comfortable who wins. I'll go ahead and say Pittsburgh wins, but I'm just so confident that they don't cover 6.5.
I'm going to have some fun here. If Matt Nagy is not coaching, I'm going to say Chicago covers. If Matt Nagy is coaching, I'm going to say Pittsburgh covers.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are such a confusing team, man. Like this Browns game, 15-10, like it looks like their defense is playing like the way they did last year, and capitalize on that win. But that offense, I don't know. This is so confusing. I'm going to take the Steelers to win, but I'm not going to say comfortably that they cover. I'm going to say there's a pretty good chance that Chicago, this ends up being like a 3-point game because Pittsburgh isn't beating anybody by over a touchdown these days. So I can't be confident in that.
Right. Fields looked better last week too.
He did.
That's all, folks.
That's everything.
Zach.
Well, hey, gents and ladies, thank you guys for listening. Very much appreciated. These were our Week 9 pick'ems. As always, we're going to go ahead and play some of these bets. Do not trust our financial advice, especially after last week's results. But nevertheless, we really appreciate your willingness to click, listen to the podcast, keep us updated in the comment section, whether you agree or disagree with some of our picks. We're always, welcoming to have you on the podcast, chat with us. In the meantime, looking forward to see Cy this week. We're going to be in Carolina, watching his Gamecocks take on the Florida Gators. So excited to see some of the guys come in town. Can't wait for that. We'll have plenty of stories next week to share. Outside of that, you were listening to Mondays Down South.
Just quickly, Freddie Freeman just put the Braves up 7-0. I think that's the nail in the coffin, boys. So
it has to be. It has to be.
7-0, 9 outs to go. The Braves are your 2021 world champions. I'm saying it right now. So,
dude, this is a shutout too, like a shutout performance win in Houston. That would just be cold-blooded.
Love it.
Congratulations to Atlanta. Congratulations to Atlanta.
And that was Mondays Down South.